Guys, welcome to another video on the channel and welcome back to another first ride review. Today we are greeted by a very special bike. Not only is this a 2011 CBR1000RR Fireblade, this is also a very special edition. This is one of only 20 in the whole world, which we will get onto a bit more in the video what all this is about. But yeah, without further ado, let's take a look around the bike, go through the stats, and then we will jump on and see how it is. I hope you guys enjoy the video. So let's get started with the Fireblade itself. Now obviously this is the 2011 model, so what is it, 14 years old now? So it's a bit older, but it's a very analog bike and it feels amazing to ride. The handling is amazing. It has around about 175 brake horsepower, so is it by no means slow. Obviously 998cc 4-stroke inline 4-cylinder engine. This is coming in at about 195 kg, so still an extremely strong power to weight ratio as you would expect from a super bike like this. Seat height of 820 millimeters, so pretty standard sport bike riding position. The seat's high, the bars are low. It's not the most aggressive in the world, but there is still quite an aggressive angle there, so obviously you've got all the weight on the wrists, but that is what gives you the amazing handling and the amazing feel on the front tyre through the forks. Right, so now to get on to why this bike is so special, I'll give you a little look around all the livery done on this bike. This is how it comes from factory, with all these cool liveries on it. Obviously we've got the Isle of Man TT there, all of the kind of logo and stuff on this. So as I did say in the beginning of the video, this bike is one of only 20 ever made, but this is basically a celebration model to celebrate Hutchy's 5 wins in one weekend while racing 4 Pages, as you can see here, which this is celebrating that. So they made only 20 of these. Him himself has one of them in his living room, so this is kind of just a celebration of that, and it is just such a cool Easter egg on this bike, as not everyone's going to know what it is, but those people that do know will know how special it really is. And that accompanied with all these little bits of detail like the carbon fibre there, and we've got it on the monk guard there as well, and the very clean exhaust. This is an absolutely stunning bike. Also some other cool details is like the full gold sprocket there and the gold chain, which looks absolutely awesome. Just generally it is an extremely good looking bike and extremely special, and by no means does it look like it's a 14-year-old bike. Yeah, this bike is absolutely awesome. Whilst I am here, I will show you the noise of the thing, as it's absolutely incredible. Yeah, very loud, but my god does that sound amazing. But yeah, we will jump on the bike now, get on the road and see how it is. Right, let's jump on. This bike also has a Yoshi exhaust, I should say, as you can tell, so it's going to sound very good. Whew. Yes, that sounds amazing already. Now, it wouldn't be a first ride review of a sport bike on my channel without me commenting on the aggressive riding position. The main thing to note is that every time I do one of these sport bike videos is I usually get off my tracer and get straight on the sport bike. So when I first jump on it, it does initially feel very different and aggressive, and it also normally does take me a little minute to get used to the riding position. But yeah, you all know it's a sport bike, it's going to be weight on the wrists, your back is going to be leant over, and also obviously being a 1000cc super bike, I'm not going to get a proper feel for the bike or be able to review it fully. This is more going to just kind of be a first ride reaction. So yeah, immediately jumping on a dual carriageway. Man, it's so quick. Yeah, this feels very raw immediately. I've always kind of had the impression that Fireblades are very revvy, and they have very, very racy, aggressive gearing compared to the other super bikes, and I immediately can feel that. You really, really rev this thing out. The gears are super, super long, which is amazing fun, as it really does give it that racy feel that I feel like a super bike should have. And yeah, the sensation of just letting this thing rev out, and you kind of just feel almost as if you're hanging on for dear life. Yeah, it's something really special. Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a decently old bike now, 2011, so it's coming on 14 years old, but it doesn't feel it. It really doesn't feel it. And in fact, I'm going to interrupt myself here with my classic. This sounds amazing with that Yoshi exhaust. But yeah, this is quite an old sport bike now, but I am really someone that is starting to think these older ones are just the golden era of them, really. This is where it's at. You know, you wouldn't jump on this and think this is a 14-year-old bike. You know, obviously the dash is a bit more old school. You've got the rev counter and a little display on the side with the speed, but yeah, you wouldn't think it's this old of a bike, and my god, does it pull just as much as the modern day litre bikes. Being a 2011 bike, this bike does not have a quick shifter or auto flipper, which I really like actually. It kind of adds to a feeling of rawness to the bike, I find, and I think these older sport bikes, they just give such a good riding experience, and they feel raw, and this bike is doing that so lovely already. The fact that, you know, it's good old-fashioned clutch gear changes, the way it delivers the power is so racy, and there's a certain feeling a bike like this gives you when you're letting it scream that is unmatched. It's such a good riding experience on a bike like this. Obviously, being a sport bike, it handles beautifully. You get such a good thrill through the clip-ons where that front tyre is, and then gives you a lot of confidence with the handling. Obviously, being a 1000cc, it is a touch on the heavier side, so it's not as flickable and nimble as, say, the likes of an R7, but that's expected. You know, you have to give it a bit more effort to lean it in. That is not at all a problem, and to a lot of riders that gives an extra level of security feeling and confidence feeling when cornering. I quite like the weight of a heavier sport bike. Oh, it sounds so aggressive. It's a very raspy tone, and it's quite interesting to notice the difference, as you know, a lot of the time people do say that all inline four-cylinder engines sound identical, and to a degree I do get what they're saying. They can get a bit boring over time, but there is something about the tone of this Honda engine that actually does sound quite a bit different. It's got kind of a more raspy, deep tone down low. Yeah, it still has the crazy scream up top, but yeah, there's a different tone to it down low. It sounds really nice and raspy. downshifts. Oh, that sounds evil. And not to mention the paintwork on this bike is absolutely stunning. I love a good white bike, and the very special livery on this bike just tops it off. And there's something really cool about that it's quite an understated rare bike, in the sense that I will admit I didn't know about this bike until my friend, the owner, had it. It's kind of one of them that if you know how special this bike is, and if you don't, it's just kind of a cool little Easter egg about this particular bike. That noise could never get old on this bike. The front end getting a bit loose there as well. Obviously pulling onto a dual carriageway is never going to be a challenge on a 1000cc. Oh, can't get over the rev matches. This is one of my very favourite tunnels, as always. This is always needed on my channel. Come on, I've got to show you the sound of the bike. This is one of my favourite underpasses. So loud, they're not happy. Hello! Oh, it sounds so good. Is just so intoxicating. I think the biggest bonus this bike offers over a more modern superbike is I find it a lot more enjoyable on the UK roads, in the sense that just going up and down, changing gears manually. I mean, I know on a more modern one you can change gear without the quick shifter, but you kind of just feel like it would be rude not to use the quick shifter because you have it. And I feel like the thing that this is offering very nicely is a lot more engagement in the ride, so you can kind of enjoy it on the roads a bit more without going stupid speed, because you know, a lot of 2020 plus model superbikes, they are very unusable on the streets. Don't get me wrong, this thing is stupidly quick, just as fast on the road as those bigger, or the newer ones I should say, but there's a sense of an involvement in this with, you know, it being a slightly older bike and having the no clutch. It gives you some more enjoyment and engagement at more reasonable speeds compared to a newer one. So I feel like this, you can have a lot more enjoyment out of the bike on the streets than a newer one. So yeah, I'm really thoroughly enjoying this. And I mean, you can see we're on probably the worst possible roads for a, you know, 1000cc superbike. Tight, small, punchy roads. You know, you'd normally much rather be on a smaller cc bike. And, you know, obviously I'm barely using the bike, but I am still having a good amount of fun just enjoying the noise, enjoying changing up and down the gears on it. Yeah, great bike. and amazing value for money. You know, these 2011 Fireblades, you can pick some up really cheap, and you know, the amount of performance you're getting for your money, they are a great buy for sure. Oh, that echo was beautiful. I don't know how well the camera's picking up the noise of the bike. Obviously the GoPro never does anywhere near enough justice to the noise of the bikes. Right, now we can get a proper feel for the acceleration. Let's go second. I love it's just so raw because it hasn't got any of the kind of modern day technologies. It's just you and the bike, and you have to know how to handle it, and that's what I love about these bikes as well. I mean, you can see there over the bumps, the wheel just gliding up slowly, but it's just one of the best feelings, and that's what I love. Is where this bike is designed for. These long straight country roads adds to the sense of occasion of it being a full-on proper race bike, and obviously this is a very special one at that, and it has only got 4.6k miles, sorry, so super low mileage. You would have seen at the start of the video, this bike is in absolutely pristine condition. It looks absolutely spotless. I mean, I probably have unfortunately made it a bit dirty on this ride, so there's a bit of dirt here and there, so apologies to the owner for that. But yeah, this bike is really immaculate. It is a very special bike if you know what it actually is. And on that note, the braking is very good. That's so good. Yeah, anyway guys, that will just about wrap up the video on this absolutely beautiful bike. Massive thank you for the owner for letting me trusting me to film this video. As always guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a comment down below on what you think of the bike and what bikes you want to see me try and do a first ride review of next. So yeah, as always guys, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.